Hey, there's a couple. This tiny little windscreen needs to go. I've ordered a tall one, sooner the better, honestly, because basically where it's pulling the air, it just drives it right into my chin, my throat. Probably the camera, you guys possibly getting quite busted by the wind noise. So it's not ideal. It just is what it is though. I hate that I don't have Barkbusters on it yet. I do have those at home now ready to go, but I wanted to ride the bike in its standard form for this first one, just so you guys got a look at it as it was. We might try to do a video on putting the new parts on the bike. Actually, that might be worth doing.
Hey guys, and welcome to this episode of The Bad Idea Bros. Today you join me in the shed for the first day of wrenching on the new 450 Himalayan. Now, if you guys saw my ride last week, I took the bike out and there's a few things that bother me with the bike, so we are hopefully going to be able to rectify a few of them today. Now, I do have quite a few parts purchased for this already. I am still waiting on some things to come. Unfortunately, the tyres and the crash bars are two of the things I'm waiting to come, so no big trail rides with it just yet. However, the stuff that has arrived should give me enough to start this thing, so yeah, guys, let's get into it and see if we can't improve this bike. Okay, so first bits have arrived. Now, there's obviously some big brown Royal Enfield boxes there. We've got the rally seat, the rally plastics, so that's super exciting. And a whole bunch of loose stuff here. Now, we've got the tall windscreen. That's something I'm really excited for because the short windscreen on that bike really frustrates me and it gets the wind buffeting right about my throat, which I think I mentioned in the last episode. The headlight guard, not sure how much that's actually going to do, but we'll put it on anyway. Now, that little guy there, also something I'm excited about. That's the GPS bar. So that'll nestle in behind the gauge cluster. And that is something else that I'm really needing because that gives me a point to mount my cameras on. The Barkbusters, super important for trail riding. We've got the specific Royal Enfield kit, as you can probably see from the sticker there. And I've gone for the Storm guards just because they're the ones I prefer. And the last thing there is the Radiator guard. So guys, that's pretty much all I've got at the moment. The goal is to have all of this on in this episode. I'm not sure if we're going to get to this. That's quite an involved job to do those. Not so much the seat. The seat's just a clip on, but all the plastics and the bracketry required for that guy there, for the rally plastics, that is a big job. So that might be an episode in its own. But there we go, guys. That's all the parts I have at the moment. So, like I said, I am still waiting on a few things to arrive, and you will see them put on the bike. But for now, let's get into it and start with what we've got. Okay, so the first thing we'll actually sort two things. We've got these 4H5 hex key bolts. Once we get these off, we'll be able to mount the GPS mount. Goes in behind this, and we can fit a new tall windscreen. I believe that we do actually need to save these rubber grommets from the original. The new windscreen doesn't appear to have come with those, but that's neither here nor there. There we go. 4 bolts, windscreen off. Okay, so that's got the original windscreen off, and like I said, we need to pull these rubber grommets out, and we will fit them to our new taller windscreen, just because it didn't come with any of the grommets. So that's not a difficult thing to do. We'll just pop these out. They should actually come out reasonably easily. So we can do this one-handed. Okay. So that's all there is to it. So these little rubber grommets just stop any vibrations in the windscreen. I assume it'll probably save this from cracking somewhat. But we just need to transfer these into the new position on the tall windscreen, and then we can put it back on the bike. Alright, so that's got the 4 rubber grommets all sorted out, and you can actually see now just how much taller that windscreen is from the factory. So if if I put him just in front and line those holes up, you can see that there's a considerable amount more height there, so hopefully that will solve the issues that I was having with the wind buffeting. But now we just need to put it on the bike. Okay, so with that done, the GPS mount literally just clips over the factory bolt positions, and the windscreen will go on top of that with its rubber grommet sandwiching it. There is of course a bar that goes in here, and there are the 2 bolts that will mount that, but we'll do that after the fact so we can get the logo lined up where I want it. But other than that, guys, that's the first bit on, and we can now fit the windscreen. Alright guys, so it's now just the reverse. Obviously these holes will line up exactly the same way. We've got the same bolts to put in. It should all just go together nicely. There we go, as easy as that. We've got the tall windscreen in place. So, first job done. Okay, so the next part I want to do is the headlight guard. Again, I'm not really super impressed with this bit, but I'm going to put it on anyway, just the same. It's so easy. There's only 2 wee Allen key bolts on the side of the headlight. So we'll obviously take those off and then put the guard back on with the bolts back in. Now this kit did come with some reasonably nice looking stainless hardware, but I do actually prefer the factory Himalayan bolts, or sorry, the Royal Enfield bolts. So I think I'm going to try and run with these. They just look like a bit of a nicer product. Okay, so we are literally just putting that bolt straight back in the same place it came from. The only difference being that we've got the guard in there now as well. Don't see this being any issue. There's quite a bit of thread that is taken up on that bolt, so it should be fine. And we'll obviously repeat for the other side, and that will have the headlight mounted, the guard mounted. I don't know how good that will actually be. It's pretty soft metal, to be fair, but I don't know, it might guard against a larger stone coming along, cracking the headlight, but all these voids are open, so yeah, time will tell on that one, I guess. Doesn't look too bad. It's I don't know, it's on the bike. We'll see if it stays that way though, guys. So yeah, that's the next job done. So we will be on to probably the Barkbusters next. Alright, this one I'm a bit excited for. I do like having Barkbusters on my bike, so this will be good. The kit does look like it's going to come with quite a few bits, but they're never usually that complicated. So we do have quite a few different mounting points on that. We've obviously got hardware. This will be specific to the bike. I'm assuming that. Oh, there we go. So that's marked with right. The other one will be marked with left, and this will drop the bar lower with use of these little 90-degree bits. We've got all the hardware that we should need. Barkbusters are usually really good for this. There's never anything missing. And what we got there? These will be the covers. These will probably replace the factory bar ends. The bar weights. And we've got the actual, if I can get it out of the cardboard, the bar itself. So guys, although there was lots of bits to these, they usually are quite straightforward. So yeah, let's get into it. Alright, so these are normally pretty self-explanatory putting these kits on, but I do like to start by just putting everything on finger tight, so I don't want to tighten anything up yet, just so everything's got movement. I can sort of settle it into the place that I want it to be. Now we've got these very specific looking brackets, which will be to get the bars around everything that's here. So I don't specifically know where these will need to go, but I would assume it'll be something along the lines of this. So we've just got the 2 bolts to put these in. And again, we're just doing everything finger tight just so that we have room to move should we need it. Okay. So it'll go something like that. We are obviously going to need to remove the factory bar weight, so that looks like an H5, which it is. Generally speaking, the Barkbuster kits will come with its own hardware, so that bolt probably won't be suitable anymore. So we'll just tuck that away with the factory bar end. Alright, so this will be the bar that essentially protects our levers and our fingers. Like I said, we've got replacement bar ends, so this one's actually hollow. Has a weight that goes in there, and we've got the new hardware, so that will go into that countersunk bit just there. Bar weight. That should take up the same factory thread, which it does quite nicely. And now we've just got this little area down here. Alright, I do have both here because I'm not sure which one's going to be needed. Probably not that one. It might actually be that one. Alright, what I'll do, I think this is the one we need. So we'll drop the hardware in. Go. And there should be another countersunk one that goes into that. Does actually seem about right. Alright guys, so that's roughly got that where I want it. Still nothing's exactly tightened up. The reason for that is that we still have the other side to do. And I like to try and make these as even as possible and protecting all the levers. So yeah, we'll repeat this on the other side and then we'll cinch everything up nice and tight and then we can put our covers on. So now that we've got all the protection completely bolted in and tight where it needs to be, we just have the covers to go on. Now you can see that there's a little relief there that is just for a screw, and we do have some mounts that will go on the inside of it as well. So this should line up pretty easily. There we go, just like that. Goes in there. Okay, first one done. Alright Alright guys, so the next bit and possibly the last bit of this episode that we will be moving on to is the radiator cover. Now the factory one is plastic. Doesn't seem too bad to be honest, and I do kind of like that it's got the fins directing the air from outside the bike into the radiator. Cooling is one of the things these bikes are known to have a little bit of trouble with potentially, so I don't know, we'll pull this one off, and we've obviously got this replacement one to put onto it. This is metal, so in theory stronger than the plastic, but it's kind of like the headlight guard. I'm not entirely sure it's going to be any better, so just for interest's sake, we'll still pull the standard one off and we'll put this one on. Okay guys, so that's both radiator guards next to each other there. We've obviously got the factory one on the left and the aftermarket one on the right. I'm not sure that it's really worthwhile doing this. The aftermarket one again is metal, but the plastic of this factory one is actually really decent quality. And like I said, it's got the fins that direct the air in from the side of the bike, so I'm not sure if this will be a worthwhile mod of doing or not. I'm still going to do it just to see, but it will be one that I keep my eye on. There is also a considerable more material around the bottom of the cover on this where the tanks are, whereas this it's quite open. So that may also help with the cooling on this bike. I've not personally had any issues with high temperatures, but I have seen online that people have had those problems. So I don't know, we'll put this on, we'll see how it goes. It looks like it's alright quality. A bit worried that these little hexagons will get full of mud, and then obviously that's going to stop airflow to the radiator, but I suppose that could also be true of these. But yeah, 310mm bolts guys, nice and easy to pull it off, and the same bolts will go in on those mounts there. So yeah, we'll get that done now. Well, there we go, guys. That is a good start to things being bolted onto the bike. A few small changes. I'm excited to see if the taller windscreen does alleviate that buffeting that I've been experiencing on the bike. Obviously, as I mentioned, I'm not super impressed by the headlight or radiator guards. They're on there now. We'll give it a go. We'll see how they fare. I can always bolt the things back off. The radiator guard is a little questionable. It's not something I could honestly recommend, but I will see how it goes. The factory item, although it's plastic, does seem pretty resilient, so it probably would take a decent beating, but I don't know, there are other options there. I might even look at getting a different type of guard for the radiator, but we'll run the one that's on there now, and we'll just see how it fares. The headlight guard, it's possibly more for looks than anything else. It might be another layer of protection. It might stop a bigger stone hitting the headlight directly and cracking it, but again, I don't really know. The bar for the navigation, really happy with that. That went in nice and simply. It seems nice and strong, so I'll be using that almost exclusively as a camera mount so that you guys can see my face whilst talking to you on rides. Windscreen, again, hopefully it'll sort out the problem. Does seem to suit the bike a bit better than that small one it had, so if nothing else, it looks good. And the Barkbusters, well, I've run them on pretty much every bike that I've had, so they should still do the job as they do on every other bike that I've got. But guys, hopefully that was a little bit informative and entertaining for you. Not a super exciting episode, this one, but as I did get the comments from you guys, you wanted to see me doing the bolt-on stuff, so hopefully this is what you're after. We will definitely in the next episode get on to putting the rally seat and plastics on the bike. I wasn't sure if it was going to happen in this episode, and having a bit of a look at the kit, there's quite a bit involved with that. It changes a lot of the bike, so that will definitely be its own episode. But You guys will see that in the next one, and as always, I do thank you for following along. If you've enjoyed what you've seen, please do consider subscribing, as it really does help the channel, and it costs you nothing. We'll see you in the next one, guys. Bye.